Hello, Mr. Mockler. I want to tell you something which the fucking German Nazis did. They call themselves scientists. Death scientists was his spoken words inside my programmed listening cells. You know? And can I tell you what that Nazi did under his long time being a so-called science computer Nazi? Yes, that dirty Nazi, he's working on genetic weapon and he's working on bio weapon. You know? You know what he did with my eyes? You see my right side? Yes, that Nazi. He had, in the year of 1991, already access to my brain cells and also to my eyes, to my seeing cells, because that Nazi managed to climb inside my left seeing cells, and that fucking Nazi, he changed the structure of my iris inside my left eye. That I noticed in front of a mirror in 1991, yes, and in 1996, that dirty Nazi coup. 1996, that was a computer Nazi crew of a career. Yes, in 1991, that was a computer Nazi crew of Jens Stoltenberg. And in 1987, it was a computer Nazi crew of Manfred Wörner. Yes, always Christian satanic Nazis who had access to the body from their computer machine. Yes. In 1996, the Nazi lead electricity inside the seeing cells and lead the electricity over the seeing nerves, and he smashed from inside on my left pupil. That was 1996. You know, 1 year later, I actually was visiting friends who were living in Rotterdam. A girlfriend of me following me. Yes? We drove by car to Rotterdam. And I was in the living room, yes, that time when it happened. Yes, my girlfriend was in the kitchen helping the couple, which had one baby, preparing lunch, you know, and then something happened with my eyes. Yes, I was sitting on a table. In front of me, I saw a big window about 3 meters. Yes, and at the right side, there was a balcony door which stand open. This was the thing I was seeing, you know. And then I saw a red balloon. It was a hard-formed red balloon. Were lifting up and moving across the window to the balcony door, which stand open. Then I left my place where I was sitting. I went to the window and later to the balcony door. I want to catch the balloon, stop the balloon from moving outside through the balcony door. And when I reached the balcony door, I felt strange. Something's wrong here. Because I didn't grab any kind of balloon, you know? And then I stand there for a few seconds on the balcony door and was thinking, what was that? You know? And then I went back to the place I was sitting before. Yes. And that fucking red balloon, it was still at the same place where it was before. On the bottom, on the left corner, below the window. Yes. And that fucking balloon didn't have enough gas inside that it were physically able to move. Yes. It means that those Volkerrühe computer Nazis, they win images out of that private living room I was in. And they also saw that red balloon, which actually was on the ground lying, which I noticed. Yes. And then they placed that red balloon as moving subject inside the movie, which they stimulate inside my seeing cells. Yes. The entire natural viewing were gone. Only Nazis movie were running inside my head. I didn't see anything, nothing natural anymore, only the stimulated, inside the seeing cells, stimulated movie which the Nazi crew of Volkerrühe sent inside my seeing cells. You know, that was 1997. Yes. In the year of 1993. You know what that Nazi started? Huh? He sent electricity, of course all secretly, without any kind of trial, without any kind of investigation, without any kind of defense, which helps the victims, you know. And he starts sending non-stop electricity, flowing electricity on the nerve which end inside the teeth. And he started in 1993 to burn my teeth away. Yes. And in the year of 1993, when he started burning my teeth away, he started also, he get prepared for acoustic torture inside the head, which started later on, but was actually organized in the year of 1993 by that computer Nazis, you know. And when they start terrorize you inside the head, inside your programmed listening cells, which the Nazis organized in 1993. Yes. And again, those Nazis, for that acoustic torture, they use a virtual reality movie, which they send inside the dreaming cells as flexible program. They can execute that. Yes. They decide what time they send the video inside your dreaming cells. And then you start seeing the movie which they stimulate inside your dreaming cells. And that type of virtual reality, yes, they also use that for waterboarding. They actually did waterboard me. But first to the acoustic torture, which they use that video I describe now. Yes. When the Nazis start with that movie, I was sitting on a railway bridge, my son on my knees, and then the train were coming. And the train getting louder and louder and louder. Didn't stop getting louder. Then I took my hands to protect the ears of my son. And the train still getting louder and louder and louder. And then it started getting painfully for me. I got to protect my own ears, but my hands was protecting the ears of my son. And then I took the head of my son, pressed between my legs, to protect his ears with my knees. And then later on to protect my own ears. And the fucking trains still were on, going louder and louder and louder. And then I was, wake up. Yes. Of course I was wondering, what, my son on the railway bridge, how did we get there, and all, then no beginning, just we sit there, nothing else. And then that fucking noise. Yes, it was the most disgusting noise I ever had inside my head. And that was a preparation organized by that computer Nazis for later on having access to their microphone and talk day and night inside their head, which they started 3 years later, in February 1996. Yes. And the other one, the waterboarding, precisely the same. Virtual reality, torturing inside the dreaming cells, that fucking defense minister, that fucking defense computer Nazis. Yes, waterboarding, you know? The same with the train, with the railway bridge. Yes. When they start with a movie inside the dreaming cells, you are actually diving in the swimming pool. Yes. Again, no how you get there, who is with you, nothing at all. You just are inside the swimming pool and you are diving. And then you noticed on the ground in that swimming pool there's a virgin fish. And you look and observe and are fascinating. You don't stop watching until you notice it's time to get up, to get some fresh air. Yes? Because you were watching the entire time that virgin fish. You never saw anything like that before. And then you decide it's time to get up, to get some fresh air. And you start diving up. You know, it was an enormous swimming pool, perhaps 4 meter, 5 meter deep. And when you love diving, you know precisely it takes 2-3 seconds to get up, to get some fresh air. But when I took the decision to get up, to get some fresh air, so it means I already had pressure inside my lungs. And then I was diving and diving and diving and diving, and actually the process, which normally takes 2 or 3 seconds, I never reach the air. Yes? That was waterboarding with the German computer Nazis. The Nazi who did that is now working for the Nazi Boris Pistorius. He is the same computer Nazi. Yes, only under the time of her career he did that.